In an Artist's Studio by Christina Rossetti, 1830 to 1894. One face looks out from all his canvases. One selfsame figure sits or walks or leans. We found her hidden just behind those screens. That mirror gave back all her loveliness. A queen in opal or in ruby dress, a nameless girl in freshest summer greens, a saint, an angel. Every canvas means the same one meaning, neither more or less. He feeds upon her face by day and night, and she with true kind eye looks back on him, fair as the moon and joyful as the light, not wan with waiting, not with sorrow dim, not as she is, but was when hope shone bright, not as she is, but as she fills his dream. Okay, this is a poem by Christina Rossetti. She was born in London. She studied the classics when she was a young girl, and she wrote novels and fairy tales. And she's also actually famous for a hymn, "In the deep midwinter." Let's see, she's probably most famous for her poem Goblin Market. She was probably the greatest female poet of her time, and she was quite radical in her views for that time. She was opposed to slavery, so she was an abolitionist, and she was also opposed to cruelty and experimentation on animals. Her remains are actually buried in Highgate Cemetery, along with Karl Marx and many other famous people. So what's this about? Well, this is about an artist's model. The artist is completely obsessed with his model, and the poem describes all of these different canvases, all of these different ways that the artist has painted her, as a queen, as a saint, as a common girl, and the artist is totally obsessed with her, and she is his muse. She feeds him, and she is staring back at the artist, or staring back at us, as if she's obsessed with the artist. I think maybe she was as well at one time. But then we discover that this is something that was a state a long time ago, and this is no longer the case. I think this is a time when the artist was in love with the model, and the model with the artist, but this is something that was in the past, and he paints her as she was at that time. One face looks out from all his canvases, and that says it. So there's one face in all of his canvases. One self-same figure sits or walks or leans. So there's just one figure, and it's always the same person. She's sitting or walking or leaning. We have found her hidden just behind those screens. So I think sometimes she's hidden away in a picture, but she's always there. She's always part of the picture, and every time you find her, she is lovely. That mirror gave back all her loveliness. Now I think here the mirror is talking about the canvas, and the canvas is a mirror of her beauty, and the mirror is showing all of her loveliness at that moment. So she's in all sorts of different pictures. A queen in opal or in ruby dress, a nameless girl in freshest summer greens, a saint, an angel. So she's a queen in opal, or in a ruby dress, or some nameless girl, some common girl who's nothing special, in the freshest green of summer. Or she's a saint, or she's an angel, and he paints her in all sorts of different ways. He paints her in red and white dresses, he paints her in green dresses, he paints her in everything. He finds all sorts of inspiration from her. Every canvas means the same meaning, neither more or less. So every canvas is saying the same thing. In none of them is she more important. It's saying that he loves her, and he would love her in any form, as a queen, as a common girl, as anything. The artist is obsessed with her. He's in love with her. He feeds upon her face by night and day. So she gives life to him, she gives food to him, she's his muse, she fuels his artistic powers. And she, with true kind eyes, looks back on him, fair as the moon and joyful as light. So she's looking back with him. She admires him as well. I think this is saying she looks back with him, with love at him. I think that he's in love with her, he's obsessed by her, and she is obsessed by him. And she's looking back with kind eyes. Not wan with waiting, so not pale with waiting, not with sorrow dim, not as she is now, but was when hope shone bright, not as she is, but as she fills his dream. So clearly the relationship has finished. That she was like this was their relationship. But she's not gone pale with waiting for him. She's not dim with sorrow for the fact that the relationship is over. And that is as she is now. But the paintings show as she was when hope was shining in her. She was full of illusion and energy. Not as she is, and it repeats here, but as she fills his dreams. So I think maybe the artist is immortalized in his dreams, and he has painted her how he sees her, his image of her, his mental image of her, not as she is now, and she will become immortalized. This reminds me of Shakespeare, that Shakespeare's poems immortalize the fair youth. Well, here she becomes immortalized by the art of by the pictures of the artist, that this is something that is captured forever. Her hope and her love for him, and her joie de vivre. So anyway, enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. In an artist's studio by Christina Rossetti.